It's probably because I've been sitting on it for a second. This one's kind of funky. This one's kind of funky. Hey, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It is on. It's Juicy and my girl. Yes. Come on in, come on in. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Hello, hello, come on in. This is a good one. I kind of like this one.
It's a nice groove. This is a nice groove.
A good one. Hey, Lorenzo.
Hey, Lorenzo.
I know that one time, boy, they was horrid. They've been on point the past couple of times. How you doing, Lorenzo?
Hi, Olivia.
Hey, Olivia. How you doing? Come on in, tell a friend, tell a friend. We're gonna get ready to get started here in just a couple of seconds. You said no water tonight. I got the big boy tonight, big boy.
I have a path water today.
My water's over there. Like, I'm literally looking at it.
She says, so what we talking about tonight? We got a tough combo tonight. We got a tough combo tonight, Olivia. So just give us a few seconds and we're gonna get into this topic. We just want to give everybody a few more seconds to pop in. We know they pop in throughout the whole show. Oh, I feel like I gotta sneeze, and I sneeze loud, so we don't want that to happen. Blow us off the air. How you doing, Olivia and Lorenzo? Y'all got your holiday shopping done? Uh-oh, here we go. LA 3, Green Bay 3.
I don't care which LA it is. I'm just whoop them, please. I mean, I know it's wishful thinking for really one of them, but you know.
Hey, Lorenzo, I saw all your pictures from what is it? What was that place? What's that event called? That's terrible. I can't think of it. They have it there in Chicago too, at a Rosemont.
I want to see some pictures. I want to see some pics.
Exotica.
Ooh. Oh. I would like to see some pics.
Yeah, they were great. Exotica.
Yes.
I know. It's been a day. That's all I can tell y'all. It has been a day. All right, you all. Well, I apologize. we're going to go ahead and get started. It is our little time here. We want to welcome everyone to another marvelous Monday on Juicy Tales Erotic Chat. I am your hostess, Miss Juicy, and I could not do this show without my beautiful melanated queens, Miss Purple Rain, Jasmine Purple Rain right here, and Miss Windows right here. All right, we gotta give each other our applause because I didn't get to the round of applause. Didn't get a chance to load the applause tonight. My bad. So yeah. So guys, how was your week, ladies? How was it? Jasmine, we'll start with you because
It's been a long week, maneuvering some scheduled things around, trying to get through the holidays. But it's been eventful. Let's just say that. So life is changing ever so quickly around these parts of Indiana. So I'm just taking it all in.
Okay. All right. And Miss Danny.
I am getting reacclimated to my time zone.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
And it has not necessarily been the most seamless transition that I would have liked for it to have been. If I'm honest, this is the first time I've actually been away from home for that long period of time.
Okay.
So it's like I'm coming back to get into the swing of things, but yet my body is like, bitch, no. I have crashed several times, not literally, but like in home, like I'm doing something and then all of a sudden I sit down for a second and then the next minute I wake up and it's like 4 hours later.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've had a few of those, so I'm trying to, reacclimate myself to all of this. But it was definitely eye opening, and I'm so happy to, be back in my city that I absolutely love, my second home, LA. So, but I do miss my people out in Chicago. So my family out there, I miss y'all, and I'll be back soon.
Okay. And I believe that we need to say happy birthday to the other half.
Yes, my other half, yesterday was his birthday, and we did exactly what he wanted to do. Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Okay.
I love those. Those are my favorite, where we had to do nothing. Yes, please, and thank you.
Oh, that's
But yes, happy 49th birthday to my husband, Mr. Michael M. Terrell White.
Oh, happy birthday, Michael.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I love him.
So, well, my week has been, crazy, cray, whatever. Finished up selling for 2023. I got to give a shout out to Black Girls Vend. The event is absolutely wonderful. They do this like once a month at the Hilton Garden Inn in Mayfield Heights. Right off of 271, guys. It is wonderful. It usually starts about 11 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. And yesterday, we had 38 vendors in the house. So the ballroom was full, the hallway was full. So it was absolutely a wonderful, wonderful event. And I can't wait for them to come back in 2023. I think they'll start in March in 2023 with their event. So definitely stay tuned for more on Black Girls Van because it was absolutely fabulous and networked, had a great time, and it was a great way for me to end my selling season. So Juicy Boutique will be back on the road after the first of the year if need be, but otherwise we'll start February 10th. Back selling and doing events and things along those lines. So yeah, it was a great weekend. A little tired, but made it happen, and got to give you guys some scores. We don't start the show on Mondays. We
Let's go.
out our scores from the NFL, and it's been kind of a crazy schedule week for week 15 because Christmas is coming and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and all that good stuff. So they were playing a lot of games on some different days. So let's start with Thursday, December 15th. It was the 49ers and the Seahawks. And it looks like the 49ers beat the Seahawks 21-13. Then on Saturday, there was 3 Saturday games. One was the Colts versus the Vikings, and the Colts blew it. That's all I'm going to say. They had, from what I understand, a 33-point lead, lost it. I don't know what's happening with my second team, the Colts, but anyway, the Vikings won 39-36. Then we're going to move down to the Browns and the Ravens representing tonight, okay, because the Browns won. We beat the Ravens here at home as it started to snow, 13-3. And it was the first game here in the city for Deshaun Watson, our new quarterback. So excited to have him. He had a really good showing on Thursday night. Then we got the Dolphins and the Bills, and the snowstorm moved on down to Buffalo from Cleveland. And it looks like the Bills won 32-29 over the Dolphins. For Sunday's games, we've got the Texans and the Chiefs, and it looks like the Chiefs pulled it out and beat the Texans 30-24. Steelers and the Panthers. The Steelers won, beat the Panthers 24-16. The Lions and the Jets. Looks like the Lions beat the Jets 20-17. Both of those teams are 7-7. Interesting. The Cowboys and the Jaguars in OT. Okay. OT, the Jaguars beat the Cowboys 40-34. The Eagles and the Bears. Looks like the Eagles beat the Bears 25-20. The Eagles are something to be reckoned with. They 13-1. The Falcons and the Saints. Looks like the Eagles are something to be reckoned with. The Saints beat the Falcons 21-18. The Raiders and the Patriots. I seen that immaculate conception at the end. The Raiders beat the Patriots. 30-24. I don't know what they were trying to do, Patriots, but it didn't work. And
immaculate conception.
That's what I call it, where they tried to throw the ball around to try to score a touchdown, and it wound up getting intercepted, and the Raider guy ran it in for the touchdown. So, because it was tied at that point with no time left on the clock. So it was kind of interesting. It was funny. But the Raiders beat the Patriots, and the Browns, we needed that.
Yeah,
then we got the Broncos and the
we
Cardinals.
Be commentator, definitely.
We got the Browns and the Cardinals. The Broncos, and the Cardinals, and the Broncos won 4-15. The Bengals and the Buccaneers. Buccaneers couldn't help out the Browns. Thanks a lot. The Bengals won 34-23. The Chargers and the Titans. It looks like the Chargers beat the Titans 17-14. And the Giants and the Commanders, Redskins. The Giants 20, the Commanders 12. And right now it looks like it's the second quarter, and the score is still 3-3, even though it just said 3-10, but maybe they didn't get the touchdown. Okay, so anyway, it's 3-3 Rams and Packers right now. So those are your NFL scores. There we go. And we have Corey joining us. Hello, Corey.
Hi, Corey.
And we're going to... we got people. Colts game was crazy. How they blew a 36-point lead. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, Control.
This is what we're gonna do to that one.
Right.
We're just gonna.
Don't know what else to say on that one. There's nothing to say. Uh, that they gonna have to dig deep in themselves. Let's just go. We're gonna let us pray. So anyway, so tonight, guys, we have a tough topic, and we're gonna go off of what we normally do. We're usually very erotic, very upbeat, and laugh, and we'll probably have some laughs and some tears tonight. But I think it's important sometimes that we talk about things that are current and that are out there in the atmosphere, because everything kind of goes hand in hand and everything works together. So I'm definitely a firm believer in making sure that your physical health is taken care of, your mental health is taken care of, and your sexuality, your sexual health is taken care of. So tonight we are going to be talking about mental health. And I would like to start out, and I'm sure some of us, or all of us, or different people that listen to us may have been affected, especially in these recent past 10, 15, 10 years or so, with somebody that they know committing suicide. So tonight, I want to dedicate this show because I watched him audition for So You Think You Can Dance. For those of you that don't know, I am also a trained dancer. I studied with the Cleveland Institute of Ballet and the Cleveland Institute of Modern Dance. And dancing is very near and dear to my heart. And losing Twitch at such a young age, a viable young man, a light, definitely a light, um, is a hard pill to swallow for the people that knew him, the people that have watched him. Um, so definitely our condolences go to his family and his friends, uh, and to the dance community, because what a talent. What a talent. And I know he's somewhere dancing right now and smiling down. And I wanted to just get into this conversation tonight because I wanted to share. And it's going to be a little emotional for me tonight. It's going to be very emotional for me tonight because I want people to get the help that they need. And below you will see the new National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Um, you can use this anywhere in the continental or in the United States. You just need to dial 988. You will be directed to a counselor in your area. Um, they don't have it where they can automatically do that like they do with 911. You may have to be directed, but it will not take them long to get you to a crisis uh, help person. And this is the number you need to dial instead of always dialing 911 if you know that someone is in a crisis. Um, we are losing too many young people to suicide. And we're losing influencers. If you guys haven't noticed, we're losing athletes. We're losing just regular Joe Blow, regular folks that are down the street that are coming out of COVID or having some issues in their lives. We're not checking on our people. We're not making sure they're okay. We're not talking to them. We're not, let's go get a cup of coffee. Let's go hang out. Let's go to the park. Let's just get away from the rat race. We're not doing that. And we just don't know what somebody's going through. A lot of people smile on the outside because they don't want you to see them broke on the inside. Some people are just trying to figure it out. Um, I've been there. Um, for the people that have followed me for years, I've tried more than once to kill myself. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the fact that I was able to talk to someone that talked me down. And sometimes for me, it's a struggle every day to not go to that dark place. So I know where it is. I know exactly where it is. And it can be a little scary because you know that you can do this, that you could take your own life and not bat an eye, not think about it. I want people to understand that people are not taking their lives to be selfish. They're not taking their lives to prove a point. They're not doing these kinds of things. They really are going through some things that they just feel they can't get out of. They can't see a solution for. They feel that the world will be better off without them. Um, I'm fortunate, I guess, because I'm still here. But it's not because it's not something I struggle with daily. I have bouts of depression. I've fought these bouts of depression. I have different ways of working through those days. I had one of those days today. A lot of things just felt like they were crashing down on me. I'm getting close to the anniversary of the last traumatic car accident that I had that almost took me out. Um, I have PTSD in the winter, and I love the winter, but um, certain things, accidents. We had a lot of snow and ice here in Cleveland. A lot of wrecks on Saturday, so that's probably triggered all of this for me. Um, you have to know your triggers. You have to know what you're going through. But don't think that just because people smile, that they seem happy. Sometimes that's a facade. Sometimes that's what they want you to see. So today I wanted to delve into mental health. I wanted to um, not just talk about this because it was Twitch, but there are others that I wanted to share with you all here recently. This is in 2022.
Before we continue on, because I know we're going to get past this, and I do see that we have people with comments, and condolences to Twitch and everything. Um, I remember seeing Twitch before So You Think You Can Dance,
Mm-hmm.
and a show called the LXD,
Mm-hmm.
the League of Extraordinary Dancers. Now, dance has a really, really, really soft place in my heart. I'm a wannabe dancer. I really am. My sister dances and my brother dances, and I just wanted to be like them. And um, and Terrell, he is a closet wannabe dancer too. Both of us, we're like, we want to be dancers for real. And we saw this show called the LXD. And when he started, he was more of a crumper
Mhm.
in his dance. And that's what he did in that one. And it was a group, it was a whole lot of dancers that were given a chance to show that shine. And he was one of them that shined through completely. And then all of those went to the Step Up movies,
Mm.
to the So You Think You Can Dance, to the uh, to the Ellen saying, I need someone to show me how to dance and to do this dance routine with me, and him doing that, and then him being on the show with her, and to him getting married, meeting his wife on So You Think You Can Dance,
Mhm.
to the kids, and this man has left a legacy that I feel that should be focused on, is the legacy that this man has left. And to not just necessarily, dismiss anyone else. It's the fact that this has happened. We don't know exactly what happened. Nobody will know unless you were in that room with him. So let's go there. We're not about to do the woulda, coulda, shoulda, who did, who did not, who didn't. We don't know. Nobody knows. But I did not want to let this moment pass without necessarily giving him the flowers that I saw that he was actually given while he was still alive, but the flowers of the legacy that needs to continue. So all my dancers, my niece is a dancer, and I just hope that what he did was enough to make them keep going and keep moving forward and not lose hope or anything like that, because that's what he would have wanted. That's the measure that he spread it. But there are many more who are having these issues where they just feel like they can't get out, or they feel like they're in they're whatever mental prison or whatever they're in, that they just don't feel like there's anything outside of them or even within them that can save them or that can get them to not lose hope or to just hold on just a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Your horizon is right there. Just don't give up. But I know there are many more that are in this category, like Juicy was saying.
Yeah, I'd like to just tell you guys, I did a little research earlier today. So we have some interesting folks that have, unfortunately, in 2022 alone, taken their lives, that are um, a little, or influencers, or people that we would have never. I guess a lot of times you think to yourself, you never would have thought they would have done that. They have everything. So Chelsea Chris was a former Miss USA. She was also a reporter. She took her life, and this is a female of color. Zoe Sozo Bethel. She was Miss Alabama. Once again, female of color, took her life. These are young. These are young people. These are people in their 20s. Um, Hudson Madison, he was an actor's son, Madison's son, took his life. Ian Alexander Jr., Regina King's son, the actress Regina King and director, um, took his life. Stephen Twitch, of course, we've been talking about him, boss. He took his life. Juan Ramirez for the Tampa Bay Blue Rays, who was a catcher, 28 years old, took his life this year. Lee McMillan, influencer, 28 years old, a white female, took her life. Naomi Judd, country singer, uh,
Legend.
legend, part of the Judds, right before she was being inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, took her life. She had some mental health issues. I'm probably going to mispronounce her name. I'm not trying to, but I think it is Kayla, Kailia Posey, from Toddlers and Tiaras.
Kalia?
Kalia. It might have been a Kalia, yeah. From Toddlers in Tears, 16 years old, committed suicide. And then niece Waithofer, she was an influencer, white female. She was 31 and took her life. So,
You've also got Brittany Murphy, who's at the prime, so talented. And then you have one of the ones that I think hit a lot of us, especially those of us that grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Robin Williams. That man was amazing. That man was awesome. That man was every freaking thing that you can think of, but yet some feel like he was enough.
mhm.
And that to me, like we all grew up with him. We all have. There's not one. I don't believe that there's a person on this planet that is not touched by something that he's done.
Oh
And I
yeah,
mean, even our
Morgan
kids.
Mindy.
I mean, even through Aladdin, even through like Mrs. Doubtfire, like it's so many things, and not just being comedic, but him just being as brilliant as he was. That that was one that I was like, didn't understand. You had all of this, but yet it also made me understand that it's certain things that you really just don't see. Everyone doesn't allow you in to see those things, and just something as a good word could do wonders for someone. And the same way as you being in your, if a bad word could do something, you never know. Be gentle with everyone, including yourself.
It's it's very interesting because some of the things that I wanted to discuss is a lot of people are wondering, and I know I wonder, where the statistics are. What are we doing? So just so suicide is an act of intentionally causing one's own death. Mental disorders, including depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia,
Schizophrenia.
thank you, personality disorders, anxiety disorders, physical disorders such as chronic fatigue syndrome, and substance abuse, including alcoholism, and the use of and withdrawal from benzodiazepines or benzodiazepines, I believe it is, are risk factors. Some suicides are impulsive acts due to stress, such as from financial or academic difficulties, relationship problems such as breakups or divorces, or harassment and bullying. Those who have previously attempted suicide are at a higher risk for future attempts. Effective suicide prevention efforts include limiting access to methods of suicide such as firearms, drugs, poisons, treating mental disorders, and substance abuse. Careful media reporting about suicide and improving economic conditions. Although crisis hotlines are common resources, their effectiveness has not been studied well enough to say that they are going to be able to actually um, cut down basically the number of suicides. So there's a lot of factors that go into um, what can cause somebody to go over the edge. And nowadays, with our young folks out there, they're being bullied in so many different ways. It's not funny. From social media, over the cell phone, in person, the old fashioned way, passing notes, you know. Um, there's so many different ways that people are not being able to cope with some of the stresses or the stressors that they have in their lives. And they only feel the only way out is in a way to make things stop is to take their own lives. Um, Ladies, do you guys have anyone in your lives or know of anyone that has taken their own life? Um,
My cousin actually did.
there's someone in the background. I don't know. We got a baby because I couldn't quite hear
Shit,
you. Did you?
my door is closed, but the baby's crying.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My cousin Philip, we called him Baby John. He's probably about 2 years younger than me. He took his life,
Okay.
and he was a military person. Had dealt with some things being in the military, and he, for some reason, felt like he could not go on. Now, I do have a close personal person to me that actually attempted, and it wasn't necessarily. And because I heard you say earlier that sometimes it's not a cry for help. On that one, the attempt was a cry for help. So I don't want us to diminish or minimize someone who just doesn't know what else to do and is really just they don't know how to say the words help me for fear of someone saying help you do what, or why do you need help, or you're the strong person, or you seem like you have everything okay. A lot of people don't love themselves enough to be able to just be, whether it be conditioning, whether it be something that you saw and that you thought that okay maybe that's what it is, and or whatever. When it comes to all of this, to the people that are, you know, feeling like I just cannot, do understand, and this is not to minimize your feelings or anything, not to invalidate how you feel or whatever, but there are people that absolutely love you that cannot see their life without you, that if you were not here it would trouble them. And this is not necessarily even for you to make this about them, but if you are wondering, does someone love me, will someone accept me no matter what, is there anyone out there that can love me unconditionally, I believe that the answer would be yes. You just got to hold on long enough just to be able to see it. And I just, I don't know. I don't personally have, I've never felt those feelings. I felt like, okay, you know what? I can't do this no more. But the moment I think about, okay, so if I did do that, what is the aftermath of that? I tend to go a different direction. I understand that everybody is not that strong minded or have that thought capacity or even know to even think like that. But I just really, really, I guess my point I just want to get across is people love you. Please stay.
And I don't.
Please.
I honestly, I don't think that people. A lot of people, not well, not all. We'll say not all. They don't think that people don't love them. Sometimes it's about self love. It's sometimes that I don't like myself. I don't love myself. I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm weak. I'm this. Sometimes maybe they're feeding into, or they've heard a lot of negativity thrown their way. Um, or you're so great that, or or on the flip side, you have this and this, so your life should be absolutely fabulous and wonderful, and puppy dogs and rainbows and yada yada yada. And on the inside it doesn't feel like that. um, and I think sometimes when you're in a position of being in the limelight, or a position where you don't know how to escape the voices or the thoughts that are in your own mind, um, it's not something touchable and tangible that you can touch and tangibly fix. Um, and I think that's where the talking and the conversation and talking to somebody anybody, whether it's somebody that's on a crisis line, might be able to help you, to steer you away from harm. But sometimes, unfortunately, some people are beyond that help. And they've decided, even though what looks great to us, and probably looks great to them, there is still something missing or gnawing or um, bothering them. Jasmine, do you know of any?
Yeah. I know I've had 3 associates that came to me through the dance world that have committed suicide. I've attempted a total of 12 times in my life. Um, Suicide is something that is hard for me to deal with.
We can't hear you. We just
I'm
lost your.
sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Suicide is something that's really hard for me to deal with. Um, I suffer from clinical depression, and um, so yeah, it's a big part of my life and something that I struggle with every day. Like you said earlier, you know that dark place. I know it very well, and I think the only thing that's kept me out of it is my children, because I'm one of those people that tend to put everybody before me, and I would never want to put my children in a situation where they don't know what's going to happen next. So yeah, sorry. Um,
No apology needed.
so yeah, when I saw that he had passed the other day, and as I'm watching the story that he passed, I'm also watching his TikTok because I followed him, and he had literally posted it 24 hours before, and he's the same age as me. Um, and I've met him once, again, being just a part of the dance world and the entertainment community. Um, yeah, so it was hard. It's still hard because I know that
Yes.
place that he was in. I know that place. So
And sometimes I know that I don't think, honestly, and this is just my personal opinion. Nobody wants to be in this place.
yeah.
Nobody wants to really. It's not like we all want to. Oh, we can't wait to get to the dark place. We just, we yay. It's oh, we're going to the dark place. We're going to the dark side. No, it's and we know we don't want to go there. Um, but things happen in our lives, and everybody handles things differently.
Mhm.
And when you go there more than once, in my opinion, it gets easier to go there.
Mhm.
As much as you don't want to go there, it gets familiar. It's a familiar place to go. It's kind of like an old friend waiting on you. It's going to embrace you. It's going to give you what you feel you're missing, and it's not going to judge you, and it's going to encourage you almost
to do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do. I went there more than once. The first time was after my parents died, and my whole life was turned upside down, to say the least. I was only 17, and my mom had died. My dad had died the year before. My mom died the next year. Both of them died suddenly. At 17 years old, I wasn't educated enough to know that I could have been emancipated and I could have stayed in Cleveland. This is the only city I knew. And now we visited other places, but I didn't live anywhere else but here. And my whole life turned upside down and inside out, and it was not a good living arrangement that I wound up moving to. But I was only there for my senior year, and then I was gone. But everything that was familiar for me was gone. And I mean everything, my furniture, my house, my clothes, my friends, my neighborhood, and my most important, my parents. I will turn 60, but my memories of my parents end at 16 and 17 years old. My parents didn't even see me graduate from high school. And that can take you to a very dark place quickly.
Mhm.
For me, what was saving for me was the first person that the Lord put in my life at my new high school was a young man by the name of Reed Watts. I've never forgotten him. He was one of the first people I met. He was a junior and I was a senior. And while I was busy having my pity party, I found out that he had just lost both of his parents and he had to move and live with his sibling. So I was no longer just the only one. I felt like it was just me, woe was me, poor pitiful me. And the first person that I became friends with was going through the same thing I was going through. So that pity party ended pretty quickly. and life moved forward. But it was a dark time. It was a very dark time. Even being there, and because I never felt comfortable. I never felt like I fit in. I never felt like, I didn't know these people. They had cliques. They had their own friends, and I made friends. I did make friends there, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. And sometimes when you change surroundings like that, or when you become famous, or when you become bigger than life, even though a lot of us want to be, infamous, famous, it may not be what we think it's going to be.
It's not.
It may not turn out like it's a lot to be famous, to have people in your face all the time, cameras and people speculating about this, that, and the other. And Danny, you're there in LA with all the stars and
Yeah, where he did this was like literally like 20 minutes from where I live right now. Like
down the street.
this is it's really easy to take it on and to feel how I feel. I've been watching this young man since what 2010. Like if you look up the LSD, you see when it came out. That's how long I've been watching this young man before, So You Think You Can Dance and things like that. What I am noticing is that we have a lot of speculation of what's happened and why it's happened, and what I'm seeing. My name is Danny's Window, and I reserve the right to be wrong. What I'm seeing is a lot of people take on what happened to him as though it is them. And in my personal opinion, again, I reserve the right to be wrong. You're taking on someone else's stuff on top of yours, and it's not necessary. We don't know, and I'm not sure if this is something that everyone needs to think about. Maybe no one knows what's happening up here.
Hmm.
Only you do. And my plea to everyone is to learn to love yourself. Learn to care about yourself. Learn that you are worthy because you exist. Learn that from a very wise man. You don't have to do this or this or this or this or this for you to be worthy of being here on this planet, in this existence, in this dimension, or however you see it. Do not take what he did and have a story in your mind of what you think happened. Because again, no one knows except for him, and if there was someone else in the room with him. But from what we know, from what we're told, there was not. So leave that alone. Let that man rest. You don't need to take that on for him. He did what he needed. He did what he felt he needed to do. I honestly wish he did not feel that way, because I feel like his light was so fucking bright that it never needed to be extinguished. But for those of you that are watching this and that are seeing this and you're feeling, I'm an empath. I feel it. I definitely feel it. And I know there are millions of people like me that feel it. Don't take it on. That's his story. It's not yours. It sounds like he needed a little bit more self love. And I feel like everyone on this fucking planet needs a little more self love. I am learning that right now. Wise man told me that I need to be the center of my universe. And another wise person gave me some information, and it showed me that the source the source within me loves me. The same way the source within you loves you. You are perfect in their eyes. There's nothing you can do wrong. Start learning to love you so that you can love you the same way that source energy that is within you loves you. But don't take someone else's stuff on to pile onto your stuff. It's not necessary.
Yeah,
You
and
are you are love. You are
I think
love.
I think also too. Here's another thing. I want to take it from a little bit of a different angle with that, Danny, and kind of piggyback off of what you were saying. It's not just that I need you to love yourself. How about like yourself? I need you just start there. Start with liking yourself. Some of you wake up in the morning and I don't like this about me. I don't like that. I don't like this. Learn to like yourself. Like yourself with all your flaws, with all your imperfections, because your imperfections make you perfect.
And tell a different story. Tell a new story. That story that you're telling yourself was way back then, and you're
And
still
don't
telling it, and you don't realize that you're doing it. It's not you now.
I want
Be
to I want to I want
it's
to
it's
read what uh
really quick. One thing that
uh-huh.
I have learned, and because I heard both of you all say it, you said that you all were depressed, therefore, and it's something that I taught. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. I was told that when you're depressed, that means you're living in the past. and you're wanting to change the past. And when you're anxious, you're living in the future, which is we're not even there yet. So you're anxious about something that hasn't even happened. But when you are
Just
when you're present, that is when you're at the most perfect peace, because you are who you are, and everything that you've gone through has made you that immaculate, wonderful person that you are presently. So I guess that's kind of where I go with it. But again, I'm not someone that deals with this like that on that level. So I guess for me, I would be asking, how true is that for you all that have gone to that depth and know that place? I
I
don't.
think I think anxiety is about future or things you can't control in the moment.
Okay.
Depression, at least for me, I can't speak for anybody else. When I have my depressive issues, it's about current. It's about what I'm trying to fix at the moment and I can't fix.
So that means, okay, just for sake just for
So
sake of
let me
lack
give
of,
you an example.
when you when
So
you okay, I'm sorry.
no, just an example. My first attempt, I just had my daughter. She was probably a month old. I was 21, a new mother, homeless. Um, I had a job, and I don't mean homeless in the sense where there was not a roof over my head.
It
I had
wasn't
a place to
yours.
lay my head, but it wasn't mine,
I
and
understand that. That is
I
that
was
is definitely the
always at
definition.
risk of being put out.
That's one of the definitions. We cannot
Um,
gloss over that.
right. So I was 19, a new mom. I had a job. I was homeless. My daughter's father was in jail. Um, I just didn't know what to do, and I had this new life to take care of. I had an anxiety attack, um, and then I locked myself in a room for a few days. I gave her to my mom, and I was in a sunken place for like 2, 3 weeks. Nobody could snap me out of it. Anything. Um, so yeah, it was about what I couldn't fix in the moment because I didn't see a future. I didn't see
Mm-hmm.
how anything that I did. I didn't see how going to work every day could fix it. I felt like I was a failure because of the situation with her father and that I brought this new life into the world. How could I do that? How could I disappoint my parents? Um, why didn't I just have the abortion? Why didn't I finish school? Like everything just hit me all at once. I felt like disappointment. I was learning how to love myself and say fuck everybody else. Because the decisions I made were the decisions I made for me. And even though it seemed like everything around me tried to make me feel like my decisions were bad, that feeling of everybody making me feel like I made wrong choices is what made me depressed.
Mm, that says a lot. That
And
says
then
a whole lot.
to couple that with the fact that I do have anxiety and that I do have panic attacks because I think ahead so much. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always trying to figure out my next move. I'm always trying to be 12 steps ahead of where I need to be.
That sounds
And when
like a
you
trauma
combine the
response.
two, yeah, when you combine the two, it's not really a good combination.
That sounds like a very big trauma response.
Hmm.
And that
And
then that definitely that trauma response can definitely be compiled upon, therefore feeling like everything is on top of you. I definitely can understand that.
Yeah.
mine was similar, kind of similar to Jasmine's. The one attempt that I was contemplating, and I wound up calling a suicide hotline, is when I found out what my husband did, and our daughter was 2. I was in Georgia. Um, I'm just finding out that my husband cheated on me. I have PID. I'm not near any family. Um, and he actually acted like Mr. Indifferent and didn't care. On top of the fact that, I'm I've got PID. I've been humiliated and embarrassed in front of the military. I'm a statistic somewhere because my husband gave me a communicable disease and was a coward and didn't tell me anything because women don't have symptoms until it's too late. And by the time I had symptoms, I wound up in an emergency room in a military hospital. Um, and I was just pretty much numb, I think is the best way to put it. Uh, Numb and in shock. Honestly, as I look back on it, I was in shock. And I got to the point where, I felt like, well, at least she'll have her dad.
Yep.
But I was so heartbroken um, because this is supposed to be the man that takes care of me, and you almost killed me by being irresponsible. So I wound up calling a crisis hotline and wound up talking to them to the point where they were talking me down basically off of a skyscraper. And because my thoughts back then of marriage and family and da 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 were like how we were raised, and you're supposed to be together till death do you part, and um, all this other stuff that
Always feasible.
and not she's supposed to, in my mind, she's supposed to have her mother and her father, because what, I had my mother and father. um, so until death do they part. I felt like a fail. My marriage failed. I felt like a failure. I didn't sleep with anyone but my husband, but I felt like the failure.
So do you think that that is like necessarily, and this is a lot of us, a lot of people are living by societal standards
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily by what feels natural to you, the human being. And yeah, we can go to deep depths about how that can go left,
Right.
or whatever you want to call it, go wrong, or someone has this sixth sense or whatever. But I feel, and I was never a person that felt like societal standards was what it was. I saw it from, okay, this is um I've seen. This is what I've experienced. This is the experimentation that has happened around me and or whatever. But when it comes to societal standards, yeah, if you go by society standards, you will definitely feel like a failure because they feel like this is how it's supposed to look. This right here, nothing else. This right here, if it looks like anything else, it is the devil. You are bad. You are this. You are that. You are nothing that is good unless it fits in this box right here. And from what you're saying is that because of these societal standards that we have that have been indoctrinated into us, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
what it is, you took on, well, because it doesn't look like this, I must be the bad person. I must be wrong. When in all honesty, it really was that that's a societal standard and it's not meant for everyone. It's not one size fits all.
But it wasn't that I was wrong. I didn't feel wrong. I felt wronged, definitely wronged.
I can understand that. I can
So
understand that.
so I wasn't it wasn't that I the thing I felt the most was as a failure. My marriage failed. And granted, we put a lot of emphasis, I was in my 20s then. I was my young 20s, like 22. Didn't know then what I know now.
I got married at
And
22 as well.
and on top of it, no parents. Remember, by that time, I'd been on my own since I was 17 years old. My grandparents on my father's side were already deceased. My grandfather on my mother's side was already deceased. All I had was my grandmother. So, I mean, I didn't have a lot of extended family, and I was in a whole state. I was down south. I was in Georgia. I'm way away from the north. which is pretty much the only thing I knew, back in the day.
You ain't around no Yankees. I'm sorry.
I wasn't, girl. I wasn't, no, girl. I wasn't. I was like,
I had never been called a Yankee until I moved to Texas.
honey, I was just considered you a fine, healthy red bone. I'm a what? Did you just?
Uh-oh. Red bone. Okay, I'm sorry.
Cornbread fed.
Did you just cuss at me? I don't know what the hell you just said.
Right.
Flushing pearls.
You a fine, healthy red. What?
Yes, I am. Okay, I'm sorry.
So, I was like, yeah, what? What the clay is red. I'm not used to that. Okay. I'm just not used to that. So there was a lot of things that compounded, but the thought process back then, of course, was till death do you part. And this kind of thing wasn't supposed to happen. And more importantly, my husband and I were supposed to communicate. I'm a health education major. The books are in the house.
Wait, time out. So does that mean there was actually a death?
Huh?
So does that mean that there was actually a death? It just wasn't in the literal sense?
There was a death of my marriage, yes.
Bang.
Yes, there was the death of my marriage. And there was a death of trust and there was a lot of betrayal. And
till death did you part then?
I parted. I parted, and I took the child with me, and I parted and took all my furniture. I parted all right. Yeah, and I busted him right. And busted his ass down the rank. Okay, yes. So yeah, we parted all right. But well, I would have cut that bitch off if I could have. But
now you sound like me.
Snip, snip. But you have to, there's a lot that we all go through as human beings that you don't expect or you don't anticipate, or you may not be able to be prepared for, especially when you're young. And I think for me to see, especially the things that I've gone through, to see so many young people taking their lives, I have to take a look at what are we doing as a nation, as a people, to help our folks get through conflict resolution. I have to admit for myself, if it wasn't for some of the building blocks that I have from my parents back in the day, I probably wouldn't be sitting here in front of you. But I did have that, and it does keep me in some sense grounded enough to not totally do harm to myself or totally take myself out of the picture. But have the thoughts been there in my life? Yes, more than once. Yes. Was I super depressed for 18 months during COVID because it was just me driving people come home, driving people come home? Honey, that got to wearing on me. And I didn't even realize I was depressed until I figured out I was depressed.
I think we all have to give ourselves a lot of grace when it comes to coming through this pandemic. We all have to give ourselves some grace. Mm-hmm. And understand, besides grace, we need to give ourselves some love.
So it's really, a lot of this is, we've got the crisis line for people to, and this post will stay up for quite some time. We've got the crisis line. This is the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You do not, when you see a family member or even yourself or a friend going through a mental moment, you don't need to call the police. You can call this 988 number. Instead of 911, you can call 988 and get a crisis person on the line to speak. to your loved one or to your friend or to a stranger, whatever the case may be. They are
I wish I would
trained,
have been around.
they are trained to aid and help, because sometimes I know we want to call the police, and I get it, I understand, but we have another option now.
I
And
think we need to all figure out exactly what are the situations that you need to call the police for, because they're not for everything. I think we've made them into a catch-all everything kind of thing. Mental health issues don't need the police. That's not their job. They're not trained in that.
hey, baby. So I needed this number this afternoon. It's a good number to have. And I don't think everybody knows that this is active, that this number exists now. This is a number that it went active last year. And everybody doesn't know about it. And it's better than not, 911 is, what's your emergency? I get it. And if
It's
they,
law enforcement. 911 is for law
right. And
enforcement.
I guess depending on the situation, I will say this, depending on the situation, if someone has a weapon, okay, and I'm talking a gun, a knife, a machete,
That's law. That's legal. That's law enforcement.
that's going to be your law enforcement. But if somebody is simply having an episode and they're not able to do any kind of bodily harm to themselves or anyone else, maybe they're yelling, maybe they're screaming, maybe they're threatening, maybe
They're stemming.
call 988 first. She
It's
says,
not
I was going through a lot today, like I had to regroup in my mind. And the mind is a powerful tool, guys. Woo, this mind, it is powerful. And we have to be cognizant of that it is powerful. And when you're going through something, and I think we can all agree on it, when we're going through something, sometimes we're not always as rational as we would like
think
to
we
be.
are.
You know, sometimes we're just not. we're just we do some dumb stuff. Let's just admit it. We do. And we have to, regroup and come back. But so this 988 number is really, really important. And I want people to know that it's out there, especially my people of color, my melanated folks. I want all of you to know that this exists. You don't necessarily have to call 911. You can call 988 for the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. I did want to come up with a few things people could possibly do if they feel that they're going through a crisis. Because we kind of identified a little bit about what causes the crisis and the risk factors. And I just wanted to give a few statistics. Now, this is based on 2017, but if you'd like to know the statistics, the percentage of people that are out here, possibly some of the records that they have anyway, of people that are actually attempting suicide or succeeding, diagnosed mental problems is at 50%. So people that are taking their lives have been diagnosed with a mental problem. Recent or upcoming crisis is 31%. Intimate partner problem is 27%. I thought that was pretty high. I was like, wow, when I read that one. Physical health problem, which is one of my issues, is 21%. Alcohol problem, 18%. Substance abuse is 18%. An argument, 16%. Family problem, 10%. Job problem, 10%. financial 9%, legal problems 8%, and death of a loved one is 7%. So all of those things that I just mentioned are also reasons as well that people might contemplate taking their own lives. Let's see, we have, and I know who I'm talking to. This is Miss Tyson. I love my daughter so much. She said, I needed this number this afternoon. She said, I was going through a lot total today. Like I had to regroup in my mind. I didn't feel like I wanted to hurt myself. It was too much I needed today.
That's Kiana.
Hmm?
That's Kiana.
That's Kiana.
Waterfalls.
Is that Waterfalls?
That is Waterfalls.
Oh my goodness. GC, I'll call you my mama, so I thank you for reminding me that it works. Girl, you know I love you, and you know you can call me anytime. So anyone that is my friend, and you guys know who you are because you have my number. So
Right. This is how I say it. We have tribes, and our tribes know
We
who we are.
definitely do.
Our tribes know that if you need to reach out, that's all you have to do. And if we are definitely in a mental space that we can actually handle it, because let's be clear, not everybody can handle it. Everybody's not going to be able to, and that's another part of this that I would like to even address. I'm an empath. A lot of people do call me for advice, for counsel or whatever, and I'm getting used to that. Um, but what I am having to also get understanding for myself is that I'm not always okay to take it, because sometimes it's too much for me. Um, I can do a lot, and I know I can, but I also have to be the same way you guys have to be gentle with yourselves. I have to be gentle with myself and be able to say, "Not, I can't today. I need to rejuvenate. I need to recoup. I need to recalibrate. I need to do all of those things so that I can be okay for me, so that I can be okay for you." And that's actually what we're needing for you to do. We need you to be okay for you, because we know that you can do that, and we know that you are loved because we love you the way we do. But understand that every now and again, sometimes your strong friend, or sometimes your friend that you know you can call on at any time, sometimes they need to recalibrate too. So just give it some time. Know that they still love you. It's got nothing to do with them not loving you. It's the same way you need to rejuvenate, they need to rejuvenate too. So let's try to pass as much as we can. But when you're good for you, you're good for everyone else. Remember that.
the other thing I wanted to say is that strong people have weak moments. Okay, strong people. I'm considered you so strong. Yeah, but I have my weak moments. Do I show them to everybody? Maybe not, but I do have them, and it's okay to have a weak moment. It's okay to have a, a doubt or a rethink something. It's okay. It's okay. You have to know that when you stop and you take a breath, and this is something that a wonderful woman told me, and it's the simplest thing that you can possibly do when you are feeling like you're like this. You are on edge that any second now you could just throw yourself off the bridge, or you could just choke somebody. Just breathe. That's exactly what she said. Just that simple. Just breathe.
And that breath it is considered a meditation.
Just breathe. And
Just breathe.
my father told me that as long as you have breath in your body, you can make a change. It's when you don't have any breath, you got a problem. As long as you have breath in your body, you can make a change. And sometimes the hustle and bustle of the day, everything that's coming at us, we forget these things. And we need to be reminded. And the main thing that I think that we really have to do, I know Danny has spoken a lot about self love. I'm just talking about just what do you like about
There's a lot
yourself?
of people in my life that I love, but I don't like them at the moment. So I can definitely understand that. So with you saying that, yeah, like yourself. Just understand that just that little bitty thing is enough
Right.
to
Start
like,
with a like. Maybe you don't love everything about yourself, but what do you like
and then
about
build
yourself?
on that so that
And
you can get to that
right,
love.
there you go, and then build. But I would tell folks the one thing that has definitely helped me, and it's a tool that I use to this day. Um, and when I'm feeling like I'm on edge, I know I haven't written. I journal.
Mm.
I journal. And this was given to me to do when I lost my father. Um, and what the way that I journal and the way that I was taught to journal is I write down whatever it is I'm feeling, I date it, and I never read it. It is a way of me cleansing, and it is a way of me getting out what I feel, what has angered me, what has made me happy, what has upset me. I journal. And when I don't journal, I notice that a lot of stuff builds up in my mind. And I don't have, I'm like this. I'm like, I gotta do this. I gotta get this done. Okay, wait a minute. Stop, sit down, let some of the garbage out, empty the trash, the mental trash, empty it, and then continue on. And every time that I journal like I'm supposed to, it works. But the key is if you want to read it at the end of the year, if you want to read it 2, 3, 4 years from now, do that. But don't read it right now. Write it and let it go. Write it and let it go. I have journals and I look back at them and I'm going, I wrote that. I was feeling that day. Okay, all right.
And at that point you can see your growth.
Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Definitely see our growth.
It says, I'm not sure who this is, but they say, hello, ladies. I can relate to everything you are saying. I have multiple mental health conditions, and it scares my kids when I have my moments.
I have multiple mental health. Oh, it's somebody in the Purple Rains group. Um,
Okay.
it's Shanna Murphy. Okay.
Well, we honor you, Shayna. We honor you, and we are so glad that you get through your moments and that you can find a place where you like yourself, and prayerfully, if you don't already, you will love yourself and understand that you are valuable because you exist. Like I said, a wise man once told me that.
Yep.
And you
And you
have to,
know I love you. So
and take that breath. Take that breath. Boy, ooh, we take that
I have
breath.
been taking a lot of those lately. I think that's the only way I've gotten through because the holidays are hard for me.
Mhm.
The holidays are
Yes,
hard for me.
agreed. Definitely
Hard for a
agreed.
lot of people. Hard for a lot of people.
And
Yeah.
But
it's
that's
really
what this
it's
winter solstice
really
is
hard
about.
for me this year because it's my first Thanksgiving and now Christmas without my grandmother, my mom's mom.
I send
So
you so much love,
yeah,
babe.
and
Much love.
I love my mom is my mom. You know how I feel about my mom. But my grandma, she called me her youngest baby. I'm only 13 years younger than her youngest child, than my uncle. So I was the baby. I'm the first grandbaby, and I'm as she called it, the youngest child. So
I'm
that's
still here, y'all. I'm sorry.
the holidays are definitely hard for me this year. And with me being my mother's oldest, I find myself having to still be strong because this is my mother's first holidays without her mother.
Mhm.
So,
And you know what?
it's
Sometimes I
one
think
of those things.
we goof by trying to be, and I know I made this mistake. And so when my dad died, and I'll share this with you guys. My dad passed. I had we back in the day we had shades, so
Mhm.
you pull, you had a shade. You didn't have curtain necessarily. We had like a sheer or whatever, but I had a shade on my window, and you just pulled that shade down. And so the last thing I remember about my dad is them, because they had to catch me. I ran. I don't remember much. Somebody says that I was sedated. I don't remember being sedated, but I might have been. I don't know. But uh, my father was put in a rescue squad, and they'd already put a toe tag on him. So I saw that. That's the last memory I have of my father. And so I looked out the window, and that window, I kept the shade down. I had two windows in my room, and I kept the shade down because that was the window that I saw that out of. Never let that window shade up. Would not do it. And at the time that my father passed, I was at a competition, and we figured out the time. And at that time, I was winning in a first place or an award. Um, and so I had this trophy, the trophy that I won for that particular discipline. And back then, I remember the trophies. If some of them, if you just touched them, the bad boys just fell apart. Okay, they were getting cheaper and cheaper the more you got them, right? But this damn trophy would not break, and I would slam it really hard on the table, and my mother would come behind later on and pick it up and set it back up. And I would slam it on the table, and she would come behind later on and see that it was laying down, and she would pick it back up. So my mother and I, if my mother, my mother was like 5 foot spitfire, okay, spitfire. You just you didn't cuss at my
So
mother.
you're your daughter. So you're your mother's daughter.
Yes, I am.
Mhm.
Mother spitfire. So my mother and I had a blow up. We had a blow up. And I remember her saying that I blamed her for daddy dying. And at the time, it definitely was there because I didn't want to go to this competition and we wound up going. So that was back then. That's when I found out I was an empath and didn't know it because I had a feeling something was wrong. But anyway, we have this big blow up. I turn on a dime and I'm cussing like a sailor at my mother. And in my head, I'm going, "You are going to die. This woman is going to kill you. Shut your mouth." But I am still coming down the stairs, cussing at my mom like an idiot. Okay, so I got to pass. I got to pass because I still have my teeth. Um,
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
surprisingly. And so at that point, my mother and I became closer than we had ever been. And I mean, it was great. But she was like, "You think that I don't hear you crying yourself to sleep every night? You think that I don't know why you keep that blind shut?" And these weren't things, and you think I don't know why you slammed that trophy down. She knew everything. I had said absolutely nothing. I had just done certain things, and she just knew. So we are not sometimes as alone as we think we are,
Mhm.
but people are kind of waiting on us to make that move, so to speak, to the point where we can talk things out, where we can get this off our chest, where we can have that moment, that breakthrough moment. Um, So don't think that people aren't paying attention to you, I think is what I want to tell people, because they might be watching you and knowing that you're going through something. They just don't know how to approach you, don't know what to say to you. But give them a chance, because I never knew my mother knew how I felt, because I never said anything. My father died in July. This blow up happened between us in October. And all that time, she had been watching me. And my thing was, I had never heard my mother cry. So I thought in my mind that, she didn't care.
Because you didn't see it, she didn't care.
Exactly. I didn't see it. My mother cried, but she was so busy trying to be strong for me, because I was broken, because I was shattered, because I was definitely, daddy's little girl. So and then, like I said, we wound up being closer than we ever were after that blow up. So just whatever you have to do, talk to somebody, anybody. If you don't want to talk to a crisis hotline, call a friend. Heck, call a stranger. Hit one of us up on Messenger, but talk. You would be surprised what might come out of that conversation. Now, granted, can't save everybody. I've learned that lesson a long time ago. But we can save some. And just keep an open mind, and whatever you need to get, whether it's you need a break from your children, you need a break from your spouse, or you need a break from your, whatever it is that you need. And nowadays, a lot of jobs have mental health departments, or places that you can go and talk to a counselor. A lot of businesses have that. When you're looking for a job, if you're going to get a job with somebody else, ask that question during your interview. Do you have
mental health
resources? Because some places you're going to need that shit.
My job, definitely.
Actually, shit, in life, you're going to need that. Forget just a job. In life, you're going to need it.
So,
emotional intelligence plus this.
Yeah. Being in the field that I'm in and dealing with all ages of people, it's definitely, I'm glad my job offers it.
Good job.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, I'm an educator, so it's one of those things where we're dealing with adult learners. So you're dealing, and me being an empath is hard because you're dealing with people's stuff. I had to learn how to be empathetic and not sympathetic, because for a long time I carried people's shit with me.
Yep, that happens. Sometimes we don't even know it.
So, in parting, guys, good conversation tonight, I feel. I really hope that some people understand that you're not alone. Number one, you are not alone. You can dial this number that's below, the 988, for the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It is 988. If you feel that you are spinning out of control, they can also give you some resources in your area. So take advantage of that number. If you feel that you're like, or you're going into that abyss, take advantage. Talk to somebody. Understand that it's just a moment in time. You can change that moment if you want to.
Yep.
You can change that direction. Get the help that you need. Take care of your, not just your physical health, take care of your mental health, and take care of your sexual health. They all go hand in hand. They all go together.
And emotional health.
Exactly. Take care of these things because you're the only you got.
Yep.
You're the only you we all got.
So you gotta take the time, woosah, use some meditation. I use a lot of meditation to sleep with, meditation music, YouTube, absolutely free. Hours of it. Ocean sounds, rain.
I wake up to it every morning.
Or you can listen to Abraham Hicks. Look that up. You'll be very, very, very happy you did.
So there's a lot of different resources that you can use to calm. Scents, like vanilla or
Sandalwood.
lavender.
Sandalwood, yeah.
Some really nice scents that you can find, or something that maybe you just like that'll calm you down. Take a few minutes for yourself. Take a few minutes, take 30 minutes to unwind. Take deep breaths and just know that this was just a moment in time. Once again tonight, we are saluting Stephen Twitch Boss, a light that shouldn't be gone, but it will continue to shine bright
Forever.
in his family, in his friends. And we are sending love and light to his family during this very difficult time, and to his friends. And just know, everybody, you're not alone. You're not alone. Ladies, anything you want to add? I'll start with you, Jasmine.
Just like you said earlier, if you don't like yourself, learn to like yourself first. If you suffer from any of the issues that might cause you to feel this way, breathe. Breathing is the one thing that, breathing and journaling are the two things that, just like she said, it gets out the mental trash. Those are two things that have helped me. Something else I would say outside of that, therapy works. It gives you somebody to talk to that doesn't know you, that's not going to judge you, that's going to listen and help you work it out in your mind. Therapy works. Especially when it comes from a relationship or trauma situation. Therapy works. That's what I'm going to say.
Danny?
I'm just going to co-sign exactly what you two have said. I couldn't have said it better myself, what they said.
So, guys,
and thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your stories. Like, for real, thank you.
It's difficult. I said it's going to be tough. I think we did pretty good because it is something that we deal with as well. I wanted people to know that about me, especially because a lot of people see me, oh yeah, she's happy-go-lucky, and kind of in the same light as we saw as I saw Twitch. So I really do understand. I can identify.
It's the same thing,
but
with me.
Mm-hmm. So whatever you got to do, guys, as the holiday season rolls around, because by the time we come back next week, happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Merry Christmas to all of you out there.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Actually, it'll be next week when we come back will be the first day of Kwanzaa.
Yeah, because today is the first day of Hanukkah, or yesterday was the first day of Hanukkah. And by the time we come back, Christmas will have passed. But we have a great special guest for you guys that will be joining us from Chicago. I can't wait. Katina is going to be here from Meow University. Yes. So we will be back on our erotic topics next week. We thank you all for this, letting us talk to you, be a part of your evening, and share with you just some of our experiences to help you. And I tell you right now, if any of you need me, message me. I'm here. I will talk to you. We will get you, going in the right direction. Man, just great show tonight, ladies. I love you guys. I know we're getting ready because January 1, I start celebrating. So the big 6 is coming. I cannot wait. We'll all be together.
Right.
Maybe we'll do a special broadcast. Anyway.
Y'all don't understand how much trouble that is. The 3 of us together. Ooh, Jesus.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna just say this. I'm down.
I'm just warning the people. They don't really know. They see us on this screen in 3 different locations on Monday. They've not really seen the trouble that the 3 of us could cause.
It's okay. It's good trouble.
It is. It's great trouble.
It's the best trouble you can actually have. Like, yo.
It's good trouble. Well, for Ms. Juicy and my beautiful melanated queen co-hosts, Miss Danny's Windows and Miss Jasmine Rain. Woo! Have a very wonderful holiday, and we will see you right back here next Monday on Juicy Bell's Erotic Chat. We start at 6 p.m. for our folks out on the West Coast, 8 p.m. for our people in Illinois, the central area, 9 p.m. for those on the East, and 10 o'clock for our friends down in Barbados. So make sure you tune in because we got a special guest. It's going to be hot next week. It's going to be hot. Meow. Everybody have a great holiday. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.